So just pay attention on DC and LSG. Okay, so LSG has 12 matches, DC has 13 matches, and both has 12 points. Okay, so let's make DC win. So if you see what happened, DC has 14 matches, so match has been incremented by +1, as well as points has been incremented by +2, and run rate also has added 0.2. Whereas for LSG, match has incremented with +1, points table is still 12, and run rate has gone down with -0.2. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I hope you guys are doing well. So in today's session, I thought of this is the last week of the IPL, and there are a lot of buzz about who is gonna qualify for the playoffs. So I thought of we can create one dynamic points table. So this is the basic React.js project I have created. Okay, so if you see, let me show you by running it. Okay, so let's go to the terminal, new terminal, and then npm start. But in order to build it, I need the current points table as well as the future matches. Okay, so let me just search for that. So I can search IPL 2024 schedule. So let's click on this. Okay, so these are the matches, and if I see the table, these are the tables. Okay, so let's start building, right? Let's go to our application and create one component here. So new folder, and I will be creating one component. Okay, and inside this component, guys, let's create one JSON file with the current points table structure. Okay, teams.json. Okay, so here we can create the data. Okay, so now it is good, right? Let me do one thing. So the first thing, so I want to assign ID to each team. Okay, so that we can update the state as well. So the first parameter, we can take it as ID. Okay, and let's assign KKR as the ID is equal to 1, comma. Then second property of the JSON, we can take it as name. So let's give the name as KKR. Then let's take the third parameter as matches. Okay, so I'll be setting the current state of each team. Okay, so how many matches KKR has played? So they have played 13. Okay, uh, comma. What is the next thing we can set? That is points. So the current point of the KKR team is 19. Okay, so 19, comma. I will also do one thing. So whenever I click on a button and if a team wins, I will be increasing the net run rate with let's say plus 0.2, and will subtract 0.2 from the losing team. And for that, I need one more property, that is run rate. Okay, and I can give the current run rate. Okay, so let's say 1 point, what is the current run rate? 428. Okay, so that's done for the first team. Let me do it for all team. Okay, so here we go, guys. We have created the points table current state. Let's go to the structure of the project again and create one component called points table. Okay, so this is the functional component which we are going to implement. Let's create one more component for CSS. So we can write points.css. So I will be using the CSS for the basic property that I usually use in my project. Okay, so let's go to the JS file. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to import use state hook, because that is something we are going to use to update the state. Okay, and second thing is we need to import our JSON file, right, that we have created for the points table. So we can import, we can say that it's team data. Okay, teams data from, and then you can use like this /teams.json. Okay, let's import the CSS file as well. So we can import again dot slash points.css. Let me just place the basic CSS that I usually use in my projects. So that's well and good. I'll be creating few more CSS properties that is needed for the match container. So let's come back to this JS class and let's create one component called points table combo. Okay, we are going to use the fat arrow function, and then let's return something, return, and then we can write a div which will be the main div. And let me just do one thing. Let me just write h1 do something. Okay, and let's just export this component. So export default and the component name. So this is our component name. So well and good. Let's go to app.js and use this. So this is our app.js, right? We do not need all this because we have our own CSS. Okay, so we can import the component. So our component is points table component, right? This is the one. And let's make it very precise. So I do not even need this class name because this is something I'm not going to use. So simply I can just call the component points table component here. Okay, so well and good. Now let's see what we are getting here in the app. Okay, so we are getting do something, and then here let's first display the points table. Okay, so I will be giving the name of CSS class as, let's say, container. Okay, so this is something that we are going to add to the CSS later. And then after this we are going to create one more div, and the class name I can give it as points table. Okay, let's close the div now and write our logic. So here I can take one h1 tag and say that teams matches and point. Okay, so teams matches and points, or let's call it as just the point table. Okay, points table, and call it as IPL 2024. Now after this, guys, we need to take one table tag. Okay, and inside this table we'll have t head and t body, if you know. So we'll have t head as well as we'll have a t body. Okay, now inside t head we will have our tr table row. Okay, so we can have table row. Let me just right click and format document. Now let's take table head. Okay, th. So we are going to take how many? We are going to take so we need 4 columns, right? So we will be taking 4 th. Okay, so the first one we can say that it is a team name. Second column will be for matches they have played till now. Third one can be for the points they have as of now, and fourth one is for net run rate. Okay, let's go to t body and try to fill the data, but let's keep one thing in mind, that every time the points is changed we need to sort the table as well in descending order. Okay, so the higher ranked teams will be placed top of the table. Okay, so for that let's declare one variable called sorted teams. Okay, so const, and we can write sorted teams is equal to we can use the spread operator, and then we can write okay. So before doing this what we can do is, so we can take one variable and we can use the use state hook. Okay, so we can write const teams. Okay, and then we can write set teams, and then we can use the use state hook, and the initial value what we can pass is teams data. Okay, that we have imported from the JSON. So well and good, this is fine. Now let's take this teams here. Okay, and try to sort it, and then we can use sort. Okay, let's take a comma b and say b dot points minus a dot points. Okay, so this is our sorted teams. That is something we can use inside t body. Okay, so inside t body what we can write, we can write sorted teams. We can use the map function by each team. Okay, so team, and then let's say this, and we can take tr. Okay, and let's close this tr tag. So here we can give the key is equal to team dot id. Okay, so after this tr, guys, what we need, td, right? We'll be keeping td. So we need how many data? We need data for all these four columns. Okay, so let's make 4 td here. So we can say that team dot name. Okay, let's copy this and paste at all these four places. So this is for matches, right? So we can write matches. This is for points, so we can write points. And this is for run rate, right? So we can write run rate. So all and good till now we are fine. Let me see what we are getting in the UI. So if you see, guys, we are getting correct stuff in the UI as of now. So this is how the points table look as of now. Okay, next thing we need is we need matches. Okay, so we can write div. So this is the another div which we are going to make for matches. And based on the clicks, we'll be updating the points table. Okay, so here what we can do is we can give the class name as let's say matches section, and we can mention that matches header within hu tag. So let's take another div for listing our matches. Okay, so we can name this class name as matches container. Okay, is we can have two div. Okay, this is the first div where let's say I have 5 matches, and here I will be placing next set of 5 matches. Okay, let's format this. Now let's try to create the matches here, but for that again I need Google Chrome to see what matches are there. Okay, let's create a simple match and then we can update the data. Okay, so we can write p class name is equal to match description. Okay, and here we can give the date as well as the match name. Okay, so let's say today is 13th of May, next match is on 14th May. Okay, so we can write 14th May, and we can give, let's say, DC versus LSG. Okay, so well and good. Use two buttons. Okay, one button is for the first team, second button is for the second team, and then we'll be setting the data. So we can write button on click. Okay, so let's give the function name as something, let's say update points. Okay, and what we are going to pass here is we are going to pass the id of both the team. So I'm just going to give 1,2 as of now. I'll be updating the IDs of both these teams. Now say the first button is there for let's say if DC wins. Okay, let's create a second button as well and say it as, so here we'll be passing 2,1 because this is for the reverse team. Okay, and we can say that LSG wins here. Okay, so similar to this we have to create matches, guys. So these are the matches that we need to set there. Okay, so this is today that we already have set DC for LSG, but let me see what is the ID for DC. Okay, so what I have given ID for DC, let's see here. So team session DC ID is 6, and what is the ID for LSG? 7. Okay, so let's go to points table.js and say that 6 comma 7, and this should be 7 comma 6. Okay, similarly let's create a few more matches here. Okay, so let's update the ID because that is more important thing. Okay, guys, so DC wins 6 and 7. DC is 6 and LSG is 7. 7 6 5. So we have updated the match description as well. Now let's build this function update points. Okay, so let's go here. So we can write const function name. Okay, is equal to, so we are going to take two parameters that we are passing from here, that is winner id comma loser id. Okay, so we can write winner id comma loser id. Okay, so we are going to use the fat arrow function, and here we'll be using the user state group, that is set team. So we can use this, let's call it as previous team, so previous state of the teams. Okay, and let's use this. Okay, and call it as previous teams. So what did I say this? Okay, it should be teams, so we can say that previous teams. Okay, dot map, right? And inside this we can call it as team. Okay, and then we can use this again, and let's use the curly braces. Okay, let's format this to look a bit better. We can use the curly braces, and then we can say that if team dot id, okay, is equal to, we will be using 3 equals to check the type as well as the value. So if it is equal to winner id, okay, then in that case we are going to update the matches as well as we'll be updating the points with +2. Okay, so let's do that. Again we have to format, I don't know why it is happening like this. So we can say that return, so we'll be using the spread operator team, okay, comma, what we want to update. So we want to update the matches, and matches will be updating with team dot, so this is going to give you the current match. Okay, team dot matches is the current matches, so we'll be updating with this one +1. Okay, and then what we want to update is points, so points is going to be team dot points. One more thing that I told you that we can update is the run rate. Okay, so run rate is something that we can update as, let's say, team dot run rate plus 0.2. Okay, so else if we can check if team dot id triple equals to loser id. Okay, if the team is loser, then in that case what we have to do is, you do not have to increase the points, right? You have to just increase the matches. So let's copy this, and let's place it here, but let's remove something. So point is not going to increase for loser team, so we'll be keeping this, as well as run rate is going to be reduced by minus 0.2. Okay, so we can write minus 0.2. Now what you have to do is you have to return the team as well. Okay, so we can return team. Now guys, let's try to see what we are getting in the UI. Is it throwing some error? No, it looks good as of now. Now once we apply the css, these things will go here. Okay, let's apply the css now for container, because we have used the container. And if you say this, so here we can set the display property as flex. Okay, so container is done. Let me just do one thing. Let me just show you parallelly what is happening. Okay, so I think if you see, it has been modified a little bit, but not too much. Okay, next property we can write for the points table class. Okay, so we can write dot points hyphen table. Let's see what is happening here. Okay, this looks good. Okay, so there is too much space, so let's set the deep property of the match container as well. So match container div, so here we can set the flex as 1, so that the space will become less. Okay, let's save it. So if you see, the spacing has been reduced now. Now the next thing is we can set the property for this one, this stuff. Okay, so this is something that comes under matches description. Okay, so dot matches description, and so that should come under font weight, and this will be bold, margin bottom. Okay, so this we can keep it as, let's say, 2 pixel. And next can, so we can set the color as well. Okay, so I'm thinking color to set as Let's set the color as something as chocolate color. Let's see how it appears. Okay, it looks good. So one more thing guys I want to set here is I want to set a button with reset this point table. Okay, so let's go to this chess file and write that functionality. So we'll be writing it here somewhere inside this div. Okay, so we can say that it should be button and type is going to be, let's say, submit, and we can say that on click, come on click. So on click should reset everything. Okay, so we can say that handle reset, and we can call this button as a reset points table. Okay, and if you see this now how it is appearing. Okay, handles reset is not implemented. Okay, so let's implement it first. So somewhere here we can write that, so const handle reset, and we'll be using the fat arrow function, and there we can reset everything to a scratch set teams. Okay, and we can set this to the initial data, which is teams data. Okay, so we can pass the teams data here. So well and good. So let's go to the UI and try to play with this. So DC is at sixth position as of now. Okay, so let's make DC win for today match. So what will happen? See, DC has 12 points, so it should move up. Okay, and the point should also increase, as well as match should also increase. Okay, so just pay attention on DC and LSG. Okay, so LSG has 12 matches, DC has 13 matches, and both has 12 points. Okay, so let's make DC win. So if you see what happened, DC has 14 matches, so match has been incremented by +1, as well as points has been incremented by +2, and run rate also has added 0.2, whereas for LSG match has incremented with +1, points table is still 12, and run rate has gone down with -0.2. But this is giving in quite large decimal places, so let's restrict it to 3 decimal points. So let's go here and we can write dot to fixed, and we can pass 3 so that it will restrict it to 3 decimal places only. Okay, now let's go here and where is DC? DC is still here, right? So now let's do the same thing. DC wins. So now if you see, it is giving in 3 decimal places. Other thing is happening the same. If you reset the table, DC will come back again to the 6th position. So here you go, DC has come back to 6th position. So here guys, we can include one condition. Okay, so we can write something like this. So we can check if a dot points, okay, not equal to b dot points. In that case, what we want to do is we want to do b dot points minus a dot points. Okay, so in other case, simply want to sort it based on the run rate. Okay, so we can write b dot run rate minus a dot run rate. Okay, return here. Okay, so we can write return this, else return this. Okay, let's save it. If you see, DC has 13 matches, 12 points, and LSG has how many? 12 matches, 12 points. Okay, so what if DC wins today? Okay, so DC will have 14 matches, as well as they have 14 points, and their run rate will improve with plus 0.2. So they will move ahead of I think they will move ahead of RCB. Okay, let's make DC wins. So here you go, DC came to 5th place. Okay.